I pray for the day when people are treated with respect, love, truth, honor, and unity, in which none of these words have a color. The Truth Divided by Nakia Jones. Who is Nakia Jones? I'm a mother. I'm an African American female. I'm a wife. And my profession was a police officer. I worked 12-hour shifts. My son woke me up out of my sleep. If my children wake me up out of my sleep, it's a problem.
So what I need is put your hands on the car. Hands on the car, but shoot you in your head. You understand me? Don't you shoot you in your head. You hear me?
He woke me up. I could tell it was something important. It looked like he had fear in his eyes. So I immediately set up, like, what is going on? He was like, Mommy, did you see the shooting? I immediately thought something happened in Warrensville. I'm thinking, okay, somebody got shot. Did one of his friends get shot? What happened? He said, no, you didn't see the police officer shot the man. Oh my God, Mommy, you have to see it. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm afraid I'm going to be next.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Pop him again, Howie!
So, of course, that's going to spark my attention. I love my family. I love my children. I got up, I set up, got myself together, and I watched the video the first time. I cannot help that my mindset, I think like a police officer so much that I immediately started to analyze the video. But I wasn't analyzing it from a mother's perspective. I was analyzing it from a law enforcement, a police officer's perspective. So I was searching the video to find out, what did Austin Sterling do wrong? Now I'm keeping it all the way 100. That's the first thing I start looking. I'm like, okay, he may not have complied here, but him not complying does not justify you shooting and killing him. So I'm watching it again, and all of a sudden it felt like I had an epiphany. Like I had an out-of-body experience. It was like I stepped outside of the uniform and I stepped into the role of being a mother. That's why the video was so compassionate. That's my son. Do you understand? That's my son. And then I looked at the video again, and God took it deeper. It put my son's face on Austin Sterling's body. So I'm like, oh my God. And then I still watched it again. I watched it several times before I even made my Facebook post. At that point, I felt like, you know what? I have to get this off of me. I have to let these African American women know I feel your pain. I need to let these African American men know, listen, all of us are not bad officers. I don't want you to start targeting us because some of these officers that shouldn't be officers, this small group of bad apples that everybody says spoils the whole bunch. That's not true. If the majority of us are good, we can get rid of the bad apples. So I had to point that out. But I also had to point out, I'm woke. I see what's going on. I see that you are targeting African American men. I needed people to understand, and I felt like coming from somebody that walked in both shoes, you would be able to understand, you would be able to have compassion from what I'm saying, from my statement. So that's what made me come out and make the video. And I had no idea the impact that video was going to have on so many people's lives. And I watched the video over and over and over and over and over again so that I wouldn't become judgmental. Because not only am I a mother of 2 African American sons, and I have African American nephews, and I have brothers, I'm also a person that wears the uniform with the blue. I'm also the one that gives their lives and puts their lives in danger. I wear blue. So I'm looking at it, and I became so furious and so hurt because it bothers me when I hear people say, y'all police officers this, y'all police officers that, and they put us in this negative category when I'm saying to myself, I'm not that type of police officer. I know officers that are like me that will give their life for other people. So I'm looking at it, and it tore me up because I got to see what you all see. If I wasn't a police officer and I wasn't on the inside, I would be saying, look at this racist stuff. Look at this. And it hurt me. You are racist. You need to be ashamed of yourself. You stood up there and took an oath If this is not where you want to work at, then you need to take your behind somewhere else. I decided to work in the African American community because I'm African American and I wanted to make a difference. How dare you stand next to me in the same uniform and murder somebody? How dare you? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. So why don't we just keep it real? If you're that officer, then know good and well you got a God complex. You're afraid of people that don't look like you. You have no business in that uniform. Take it off. If you're afraid to go and talk to an African American female or male or a Mexican male or female because they're not white like you, take the uniform off. I was in bed, my son went there, Mommy, you gotta get up. You gotta get up now. So now I'm like, oh my God, what happened? He said, another shooting happened. A male was shot and his girlfriend was in a car with his baby. Now I'm sitting up, I'm like, well, he's like, Mommy, and you done went viral. That means you have so many hits in a certain amount of time. He said, Mommy, your video has been viewed over 3 million times. Celebrities are tweeting you, and I immediately got anxiety all over my body because I'm a private person. It was so overwhelming for me to see the men, I'm talking about men, crying like, Officer Jones, thank you, we love you. Officer Jones, do you understand we hated the police until you spoke up? Officer Jones, do you understand I wanted to take a police officer out until I saw this video? Then to hear the mother saying, thank you, Officer Jones, we see there are good officers. Thank you for speaking up for us. Thank you for being our voice. It was so humbling and I was so overwhelmed. And then I was getting calls, me and my husband, the phones were ringing. I mean, people were contacting my family, CBS, ABC, CNN. I'm like, what is this? Is just, it was very overwhelming for me. I went from Officer Jones to celebrity Officer Jones overnight. And so an associate of mine was like, you need to write a book. And immediately I said, I'm not writing no book. I'm writing my gospel play right now. I don't have time. The way that they wanted to present the book, they wanted to bash police. They wanted to be just disrespectful to police officers. They wanted to bash them. And I'm saying, how can you be disrespectful to a uniform that I still wear? How can you be disrespectful to a uniform that my husband still wears? How can you be disrespectful to a uniform that his father retired from being a police officer? Do you understand that I went out on a limb telling them I'm a good officer? So you want to bash police officers? That's not what this is about. I'm trying to bridge the gap, not cause a bigger division. So we didn't agree, and I said, forget this book, I'm not doing it. Met a really good friend during this time, and she kept saying, Nakia, you need to write that book. You need to write that book. That book is going to be powerful. Nakia, you need to write that book. So I decided to listen to Jocelyn Hurt and write this book. And I started, and when I tell you the journey was so amazing because I didn't realize I had so many wounds inside of me that needed to be healed, and writing that book helped me. It actually helped me. It actually allowed me to exhale. It actually allowed me to speak out and say my truth. It actually allowed me to put my life on display so you would understand when you read it what I meant by the truth divided. It made me feel overwhelmed to make people understand there is somebody that lives both sides of the fence. I can give truth on both sides of the fence. I do know there's black on black crime, but I also know there's police officers killing blacks left and right. I do know there are excellent police officers. I do know that there's some excellent African Americans in the community. I was given the opportunity to tell my truth, but you can still see the divide. But in this book, I show you how, your truth may be your truth, my truth may be my truth, but we can bridge the gap together. We can come to a happy medium.